The drama is through the roof in the Harvey home, and boy, is the tea bubbling hot this time. It turns out that Steve's wife cheated on him with not one, but two different men recently, and now she's filing for divorce. This is pretty insane on its own, and we could talk about that for the whole video, but what we are about to tell you is way more insane. You see, Marjorie is asking for half of everything that Steve owns in the divorce. And if that wasn't bad enough already, Marjorie's daughter is speaking up for her mother. The crazy part here is that she seems to have no problem with the fact that her mom cheated on her husband with two men. Welcome back to Celebrity Fix. We are going to be talking all about how Lori Harvey confronted Steve Harvey for divorcing Marjorie Harvey after she got exposed for cheating on him with her bodyguard and the family chef. 1 minute though, we know you're dying to hear all about that, but before we get to spilling all the tea about that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future uploads. Now, people have always known that the union between Steve Harvey and Marjorie was pretty shady. They always try to tell people that their marriage is like a love story straight out of the books.
I mean, because he's a role model, right?
You know, well, this is the thing. You fuss at the kids when I go in and it's like their rooms are a mess. And I'm like, Steve, this is ridiculous. There's stuff everywhere. And he goes in, he fusses at the kids. He's like, if you don't get this stuff out of here, and you better not let me catch this room looking like this again. And I'm like, Steve.
But that is far from the reality. Most people know the story of how they met and knew it was love at first sight. But that's not exactly what happened. Steve and Marjorie met back in the 80s when Steve was still trying to make it big as a comedian. He was doing small shows here and there, but he wasn't making a ton of money. He was performing in a small comedy club when he first saw Marjorie and developed a huge crush on her. He even stopped his whole show and kept staring at her before he told everyone that he didn't know who Marjorie was, but he knew he was going to marry her.
He finally realized, okay, I gotta say something. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna marry her.
Later that day, he asked her out and she straight up rejected the man. Why, you ask? Well, the reason behind that was that she didn't want to marry a man who couldn't provide the lifestyle she wanted. And when you look at her dating history, this is true. Marjorie was married to two drug dealers before she met Steve. Both of them showered her with money, but as soon as they got busted, she filed for divorce and left. This is why a lot of fans think that the only reason Marjorie married Steve was for his money. Like, we are not saying that a woman looking for a man who's financially stable makes her a gold digger, but everything that she did after that was just messed up. Now, the first thing Marjorie did when she got married to Steve was distance him from all of his other children. And then she convinced him to adopt her children and give them his name. She's a smart woman, you see. This way, her children would have a bigger part in the inheritance. But that's not all, and Steve isn't a saint either. He openly admitted to being a serial cheater. He said that marrying Marjorie completely changed him as a person and that before he was married to her, he was never loyal to anyone. Mind you, he has been married twice before and has children from both his wives. And don't even get us started on what kind of a father he was to his own children. His ex-wife told the public that he was abusive to their son, who was just 11 at the time. And to make matters worse, Marjorie was the one who hyped Steve for all of this. Steve's other son openly admitted that Steve wasn't there for him all his life. All he did was send him child support and fulfill formalities, and until the kid was 16, Steve was absent from his life.
I didn't really have my dad full-time into my life until I was 16.
Well, it seems like karma finally caught up to Steve in the form of Marjorie, because she is about to turn his whole life upside down. But before we get more into that, make sure to share this video with a Steve Harvey fan and hit that big thumbs up while you're at it too. The word on the streets is that there's trouble in paradise. And this is a big deal, especially for Steve. Why? Well, because he is seen as a relationship guru in the black community. And if he gets played like this by Marjorie, he'd be losing more than just his reputation. Now, we are not saying that any of this is absolute fact. This is just what the streets are saying, and our duty is to deliver the news to you, so that's what we're going to do. According to several sources on Twitter, Marjorie is done with Steve and she's finally stepping out the door. She's allegedly filing for divorce and leaving Steve, but she's not leaving quietly. She wants half of everything that Steve owns in the divorce settlement, and considering the fact that he is literally a millionaire, half of what he owns is a lot. But wait, that's not all. Yes, there's more. As some of you might already know, Marjorie cheated on Steve, and she didn't do it once or with a single man. She cheated on him with 2 different men several times right under his nose. First, it was with his bodyguard, and now, according to recent reports, she also snuck around with their personal chef. This must be a lot for Steve to handle, and he definitely needs some emotional support at this time. But most people think that this is just karma catching up to him. What do you think? Now, Steve must definitely be going through a tough time right now and needs support, as we said. But it seems like that's the last thing he's getting right now. His own daughter is the one who's coming for him. As it turns out in Steve's case, blood really is thicker than wine because Marjorie's daughter Lori is coming for Steve and defending her mother in all of this. And to think about how much Steve supported and loved Lori makes this whole thing just so much more messed up. Marjorie always wanted Lori to make it big, and Steve really helped her with that. He gave her the most attention and helped her a lot in getting to where she is today.
Yeah. What's up? This is my daughter, Lori, everybody. This is my youngest daughter.
So now that she feels like she doesn't need Steve's help anymore, she has turned her back on him. According to insider sources who are close to the family, Lori is supporting her mother in the divorce because at the end of the day, Lori is just Steve's stepdaughter. We bet Steve feels terrible for always neglecting his own children for Marjorie's children now. Maybe if he had been close to his own children, he'd have someone by his side in these trying times. The craziest part of this whole thing is that Lori knows all about her mother's cheating scandals, and she's willing to support her regardless of all of this. Well, you know, as they say, family always comes first, and looks like Lori never considered Steve part of the family to begin with.
Just let me say, I'm fine. Marjorie's fine. I don't know what y'all doing, but find something else to do.
And that was all we had time for in today's video. Do you think Marjorie is going to win the divorce case and take half of all of Steve's wealth? How do you think Steve's children are going to react to all of this news? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And before you leave, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and smash that subscribe button for more videos like this one in the future. We'll see you next time with some more spicy drama.